I can't believe that the world is ending. There goes years and years of planning for world domination out the window. This sucks.
This was my first year teaching, and I taught Gideon Wishel, Eleanor Barrett, Anna Garfield, Gavin Firestone, and Noah Adelman, all in the same class, and the topic was politics. Today is April 8th, and I just found a Popeye's chicken wing that Adrian Ching left in his desk from August. I was always told that LASA kids were very good at STEM, and I believe that. But I was also told that our English department was really talented, and yet my students wrote me this note. Don't worry about that noise. That's just Ramona Gonzalez hitting her head one more time.
One time, just one time, I would love it if after a kid tunes up, that they're actually in tune. There's a secret door in my office where I go to hold seances with Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker. They help me remember that it's all just music. I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but sometimes I actually think Kenny G was better than John Coltrane. I mean, my favorite things just sounded so bad, and Silhouette sounds so good.
Well, the truth is,
And I know that there have been crazy hours on my announcements. But the question really is not, why are my announcements being sent out at 4 a.m.? The question is, why am I sitting at my airport gate at 4 a.m. typing up my announcement and my sub-plans, and all of a sudden there's a student in front of me asking me if he can have an extension on his assignment because he's going on a trip.
I have 47 freshmen in 8th period. The last period of the day. 47! Because apparently everybody hates Spanish. ¿Por qué?
I can't stop thinking about the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. It's really unfortunate. I'm Team Kendrick. You know, nobody's ever realized that in my Sunday's principal's message, I give away the Wordle every Sunday. It's in there at least 27 times.
Okay. I gotta tell you, sometimes students ask me where the papers are, and they know I don't know where they are. But I tell them anyway that, yes, oh yeah, it's just in that other pile. I don't know where their papers are.
It's hard to say, but the reason it takes me so long to grade your tests is because they feel like my family, and I like bringing them home with me on the weekends. They sit with me and my cat, and we watch Netflix together.
When I answer a question, and then 2 minutes later, a student asks the same question, I make 100% sure to get administration to drop them from my window. When students see that this lanyard is technically blue, and it's not brown, and they point it out, I tell their English teachers that they were talking about using ChatGPT.
God, I gotta confess something. I put a hit out on that rooster. It was me. I didn't know that the raccoons were gonna them up so bad, but I'm sorry.
Sometimes I can see the fun chart. I don't do it on purpose, but it's there. Every time I'm looking for maxima and minima, the fun chart is there. When I hear those seniors talk about how much they love the Disney Star Wars movies and how boring the Lucas stuff is, I make sure that admin gives their parking space to a sophomore.
I assign homework pretty much every day, but I don't actually grade it. I don't even look at it. I just do it because I like it when students are sad.
Healing voodoo magic only works if you come in for our healing voodoo magic. We don't have healing voodoo magic. It's called rehab and treatment. You have an hour for lunch. I need you to come into the ATR to do your treatment. What do you mean? You have to go to lunch with your friends. Why is Ramona Gonzalez always our frequent flyer? Running into poles, diving around, getting hurt all the time.
Teddy Roosevelt is not my favorite president.
We didn't go to the moon. That was, when I started teaching astronomy, those NASA people, they send their people, and they're tough, they're mean. They cornered me, in my classroom the very first year. That was when the last eclipse happened. My very first day teaching astronomy was the 2017 eclipse. And after that, I walked into my classroom and there were 2 agents from NASA, and they threatened me that if I spoke the truth about the movie studios down in Houston where they filmed it, that I was not going to get my teacher pension. So ever since then, I've gone the party line on, we can shoot lasers off the moon that they put there, right? And that, the Soviets were able to listen to our radio transmissions, no, y'all, newsflash, the Soviets helped us. They were there, shooting in the studio with the styrofoam rocks, Do you know why Neil Armstrong was such a recluse? Not because that's his personality, but because, he was afraid. But he wanted to speak the truth, and they scared him so much that he just kept his mouth shut until he passed away a few years ago.
Why did you make me do this?
You want to know the worst thing about being diversity council sponsor? Having to look through all the ridiculous sessions that are proposed. I mean, the etymology of bros before hoes. Come on, guys. We're not going to have that session. I once saw Flowers on the day his espresso machine broke, and he was -6 coffee at that point, and 2 juniors went in to ask him a question about their LEQs, and they were never heard from again.
I tell students not to study computer science, but the reason I tell them that is because when I was a boy, my uncle dropped a laptop on my foot, and I've hated computers ever since.
For some reason, handwriting was on our teacher evaluation this year. I got needs improvement. Every day, I try to trade my lunch for a kid's lunch, but no one wants my unseasoned chicken and mustard.
I've been teaching AP Psych for 12 years, and I still don't know what heritability is. You know the one topic every sophomore student loves to learn about? The Mongols. Everybody loves the Mongols. I hate the Mongols. I once saw Jason Flowers on a day that his espresso machine broke. 2 juniors walked into his class to ask about the LEQ, and they were never heard from again.
I went to 6 Taylor Swift concerts, and I have all the friendship bracelets. I have a tattoo of her on my back. Sometimes I get bored staring at the walls and listen to hours of ASMR videos. It's exciting. I have too many emotions. I don't know how to get them out.
You know, I feel like it's not really fair for admin to tell me when I can and can't do the math that I want to do. So if they're dragging me in on a weekend to like chaperone prom and make sure that the memory wall stays pristine or whatever, that's fine. But like, I'm going to be bringing some paper on which to do my mathematics because it's got to get done. So if I get real into it, and I look up 30 minutes later and that wall is covered in that's not my fault. Sorry.
I know everyone else is freaking out about the end of the world and the eclipse, but this is actually one where I'm proud to say that the eclipse is not going to end the world. It's just going to never end and bring an eternal winter, and we're all going to freeze, but the world's still going to be here. That's okay. At least I've admitted it now. I hope you can accept my apology. I'm sorry.
There was one time I held my phone vertically to record a video. Sometimes I eat the chalk.
I didn't even know who Hitchcock was. I just pitched a class entitled, "Let Me Teach Anything But English Too."
I think the ATR's ceiling is the raccoon's potty.
I almost taught AP stats one year, but then they found out I got a 4 on my AP exam in high school. They almost fired me.
I did graduate from LASA, but only because the circus wasn't hiring.
The girls' soccer class next year is going to be called, "Do We Have to Run?" Answer yes.
Everything is so great. The kids are sweet. They're so smart. I have nothing to complain about. It's just great.
Most of you know I'm a chronic cheater. I've cheated much more than I'd like to admit, and more than I can admit, unless I want to get expelled. I started this in classes I thought weren't important, and then kept going. I got really good at it, like really good.
All right, y'all, this is it. This is my final confession. This is also my last year at LASA. They're finally letting me graduate with you guys. No more being a super senior. Class of 2024, let's go! Woo!